Howdy everybody, welcome to the first ride and review of the Triumph Street Triple 765 RS in the 2024 model year in this beautiful scorched yellow. That's what I'm calling it. It's cosmic yellow, but this is actually the same color as the old Daytonas. Anyways, yeah, it's yellow, it's beautiful. This is the reference point for so many years for middleweight street sport motorcycles in the naked variety. I really dig this motorcycle. I tracked and raced a Daytona 675 for many years. I have a lot of experience with this platform, and it's been really cool to see Triumph take this machine from 2007 as the naked sport variant of a super sport motorcycle and polish it and grow it up and increase it in power and displacement and refinement to the point that we have here today a 128 horsepower 3-cylinder naked bike that can pretty much do it all. Now this motorcycle is very special because it is a giveaway bike on YamiNoob.co. This is our newest featured motorcycle. I've been wanting to do a new street triple for a long time. I did one back in 2020, but they've made some really critical improvements to this model that I wanted to talk about and discuss for a little while. So make sure you head over to the website, get your chances locked and loaded, become a member. It's the best way to support the show, get your entries to win, join the Discord, get access to the newsletter, all kind of amazing benefits and features. Don't miss out on that. If that doesn't strike your fancy, you can always get a hat, a t-shirt, a hoodie, whatever you'd like. Every dollar you spend is an entry to win, subject to a multiplier. All right, let's give a quick little history lesson and overview of this model. We'll swing a leg and go for a ride. Okay, so the Street Triple debuted in 2006 or 7, I can't quite remember, as the street corollary to the Daytona Supersport motorcycle. That bike was built for homologated racing. It was a 3-cylinder 675cc, but the Street Triple had the same 675, but just detuned a little bit. When it first launched, it had the big bug eyes in front. It had the 675cc triple. It made about 108 horsepower, if memory serves me correctly, and it was always thought of as like a gold standard kind of do everything street and track motorcycle. It was a bike that had phenomenal on-road handling. Triumph's handling and fueling has always been really top-notch on this machines and really set the benchmark for what these bikes could be. Fast forward nearly 17 years later, and this machine now has a 765cc 3-cylinder motor making 128 horsepower at 11,500 RPM and 59 foot-pounds of torque at 9,750 RPM, which are really nice power figures for the street. This makes as much peak horsepower as a Daytona did back in the day, but with way more accessible low-down grunt, which is what we're all looking for. Triumph's 3-cylinders were always really characterful with a lovely induction honk, a sort of whiny, kind of chirpy sound that they have down low, given the fact that the gears are straight cut for the timing chain. If memory serves me correctly, that's the reason that it makes that sound. And it's just a really lovely engine. And the keen among you might note that this has an aluminum twin spar frame that is very similar to the old frame that was being used in the Daytona 675. This is functionally the same super sport frame, which gives this motorcycle a really interesting backstory. All the naked bikes nowadays are all built from the ground up to be naked bikes, and then they're being cross-platformed as super sport machines. You know, the MT-09 to R9, the Duke 990 to RC 990. But this motorcycle, because it's been around for so freaking long, is actually the other way around. It started life as a super sport bike and was converted to a street bike. So this actually has way more racing DNA than any of the other motorcycles in its segment on the market today. The Street Triple is sold in 2 different trims. We're going to do a detailed video later this week discussing all the different trims, some of the ins and outs on this machine, but this one in front of me is the RS trim. That gets you quite a few things. Upgraded suspension, you'll see an Öhlins XTX 40 rear shock at the back. You have a Showa big piston fork up here with rebound and compression in both legs, which is a nicer, more upmarket version of a front end suspension. Brembo brakes, bar end mirrors, a better master cylinder, a nice seat cowl, stitching on the seat, and this paint scheme that you can't get in the R. For my money, an RS is the trim I would get. I would not bother with the Moto 2 variant. It's limited edition and pretty much all sold out, and I think the R is just not really that well equipped. Also on the RS, you do get this 5-inch TFT. Let's fire the motorcycle up and swing a leg, shall we? Ooh, sitting on it, you can tell it's a proper sport bike. 33-inch seat height. I'm about 5'11" with a 32-inch inseam, and I can very comfortably flat foot this machine. I don't have any issues, so even though it's a 33-inch seat height. It actually fits pretty good. It's very narrow between the tank, as Triumphs usually are. They're very svelte, compact. They feel really good in the cockpit. Let's go ahead and fire her up, shall we? We're neutral. We have an integrated kill switch and ignition here, so we go ahead and fire her up. Lots to say about the dash. We're going to get into that later in the video. This is the weakest spot on the motorcycle, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and hear her, shall we? Just the loveliest 3-cylinder sound on the market. This one's the real deal. Not like the 660. This one sounds like a real Triumph triple. What do you guys say we go for a ride, shall we? All right, clicking down into first gear on the Triumph. You'll notice it actually has a slight shift assist system where you can kind of not really stall it. If I let the clutch out just a little bit, you hear the revs go up just a little bit. I wonder if you can actually get away without adding any gas. Look at that. You don't even need to add throttle. Which is funny because you're going to want to hit the throttle on this thing because it's so nice. It's got one of the nicest throttles in the business, and you're definitely going to want to use it as you take off with it. We are in sport mode right now. Sport mode, excuse me. Sport mode, if memory serves me correctly. And yeah, you can see how hard that is to read. Lots to say about the dash. I think in the whole detailed video, I'm going to talk a lot about the dash. Taking off with it. Ooh, you guys hear that lovely 3-cylinder sound. Truly one of the best in the biz. This motorcycle is equipped with a quick shifter up and an auto blip down feature. Not the greatest auto blip down. It's improved over the last couple of years. I remember the 2020 Street Triple I had, it was very clunky. This has gotten better. We'll see here as we enter this braking zone for this red light. Go on the brakes. Down into first. And then we can accelerate away. In second gear. Click up into third. The upshifts have always worked beautifully on the Triumph shifter. And you get really positive engagement from the lever. I really think the combination of quick shifter up and the very tactile feel from the lever on the shifter is really one of the best in the biz. The motorcycle just, it kind of has this magic carpet feeling down the road. It really just glides. It loves to just kind of glide down the road. It's extremely confidence inspiring, even in kind of lower stakes suburban environments like this. And you got a lot of power and torque on tap for a street bike. It feels way faster than the numbers would suggest. And one of the reasons for that is the fact that Triumph actually updated the internal transmission ratios and the final drive on this machine. So it's actually geared pretty darn short. You guys will notice later in this video when we take it on track, spoiler alert, you'll see that I actually hit 6th gear on the back straight at Eagles Canyon Raceway, which is pretty rare for a stock motorcycle. Typically they're geared a little bit longer. The other thing that allows you to do is to be very flexible with your gear selection with this machine. I'm in 3rd gear right now because I want to be a little more sporty with it, right? I can add some gas, I can flick it over, I can ride it a little more aggressively, but just as easily as I can do that, I can click it up into 5th gear, go 45 miles an hour, and go total commuter mode with this thing. And that's a trick that I feel like only the Triumph Street Triple can play. There are very few motorcycles on the market, if any, that feel this sporty and yet can be so nice to ride on the daily. Just incredibly flexible what you can do with this machine. It is supremely easy to ride on road. It's been polished to a phenomenal degree. You see there we have really nice lock to lock. Super easy to you know, flip around a quick U-turn like that. So Triumph has also been known for years and years for the throttle feel and the fueling, right? The way that you know, you pick up a millimeter or two, add an extra 1 or 2% of throttle. It really is so perfect in the way that the motorcycle delivers that experience back to the rear tire and back to you as the rider. I can just add just a teensy bit more here, and it just, it's just delicious. Also, the on-off throttle feeling is wonderful too. We'll add a little bit of gas here for this corner, get on the brakes, and then crack it back open. You get a super nice feeling of cracking back open the throttle, really feeling what this motorcycle can do. I mean, you can really tell this has proper race bike DNA. It's super different than the other naked bikes in the category. The other bikes are getting closer, right? MT-09 is now such a well-rounded, polished machine, but it used to be such a street bike, you know? This was always the kind of refined gentleman's sport bike, and it's still very comfortable. Like, I'm sitting up here, and it is a teensy bit leaned over. This subframe and seat and peg height combination basically puts you, your lower half is basically in a super sport position, but these bars put you in a nice upright position and has made the motorcycle quite a bit more comfortable than you would imagine. And with this kind of performance, it is just a riot to ride. Super fun. And if you're really looking for a way to amp up your daily commute, you want something super fun and super enjoyable, really playful, but still has just an incredible amount of sporting performance, I don't really think you can go wrong with one of these. Unfortunately, stock motorcycles are all a little quiet for my liking nowadays. I think to meet current Euro 5 emissions, these things just have to be pretty quiet. I don't know how Ducati gets away with it because their stock bikes sound great, but this Triumph is a little quiet for my liking. So it's one of the few bikes that I actually wouldn't mind doing a slip-on or some sort of exhaust system on. However, this is a motorcycle that, if memory serves me correctly, the entire assembly is all one bread box and all contained in one thing. So I think you'd have to get a full system, flash it, do the whole thing, get a baffled system, because you're not going to want to run a completely open full system on a bike like this for street duty. The dash on this machine is just inexcusably bad. I do have to say that. It is unfortunate that I have to be so critical. But let me talk a little bit about it, and I'll cover more of it in the detailed video that we'll do in the shop. But basically, this machine's dash it has 4 different styles you can choose. None of them are good. It is not intuitive for the rev counter. The information is displayed in really strange ways in all 4 of the systems. The actual font choices are so small and so hard to read. Like, for example, I can press this mode button here and try to change the mode from, I'm currently in sport, to road, right? If I press this mode button, I mean, can anybody out there read what the hell is going on up there? I certainly can't. And if I press the button, it seems to go through the different modes, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm seeing what's going on. But it's so not intuitive at all. And unfortunately, it's incredibly laggy. This feels like it's 10-year-old hardware trying to run brand new software. It's like when you have a really old computer that you're trying to run new software on, and it's just kind of like chopping and lagging, and you're like, oh boy, I can't, I'm dropping frames everywhere. This thing literally drops frames on startup, and you're like, oh my god, dude. It belies the premium experience that you expect from a Triumph when the screen is so laggy and kind of crappy. Okay, moving on to other things that are actually great. Again, the riding experience is really what dominates here. The bones are really good. This has an IMU that you can actually do some cool stuff with, but you don't have as much flexibility in the way that you actually can adjust the different settings and the wheelie control and the traction. It's kind of like you get TC and that's it. Like, don't complain about how it's going to do stuff. It can just manicure and do stuff. You don't have like adjustable wheelie control or different lift controls or different modes that you can change. It's pretty simple, which is different than what the other competitors in the category are doing. The engine is as balanced as can be, and it just feels incredibly good from the seat of the pants. You get really immediate accessible power. Like, I'm in 4th gear right now, and I can just add a beautiful amount of torque to my everyday riding experience here. Now, as I just went left to right there, usually this would be the part of the vlog where I say, let's go take it out on a fun twisty road and see what it'll do. However, I live here in DFW, so I'm gonna do you guys one better. Let's go on track with this machine. And we're here on track, fully pinned, down in the braking zone, warming up our tires a little bit because we can't test this bike on the street the way it's meant to be tested, right? It's called the Street Triple, but you gotta ride it on track, don't you? And the Street Triple actually has a lot of track performance. That Daytona frame just feels really damn good. I hear somebody behind me. buddy on the V4S there. Got a little more drive than the Street Triple. Close him down, the brakes a teensy bit. So this bike actually has quite a bit of track performance, man. It's that Daytona frame. Can pick it up off an apex beautifully. You'll see here down to the brakes we have this Brembo MCS Master. Didn't want to catch second gear there. We're down a gear. We can still make it work. There we go. So Triumph has improved this gear selector, but it hasn't really been that great. I've definitely felt better auto blip down systems than this bike. Boy, it still works really, really well. Even for a naked bike on track, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Look at that, pick it up. Flick it into here. Wide open. Hit that bump, go down into third, baby. So I think it will handle your everyday twisty road riding in your local area. Because it can certainly hang bone stock on track like this. I think I'm doing like 210s with this bike, something like that, 211s. And I haven't been on track in a while, fully pinned here in 5th gear, down into the braking zone, down 3 gears, nice and easy on the Triumph. I haven't been on track in about a year, so woo, caught that little wheelie there. In case y'all forgot that the old Senior AM can still rip it up, baby. Because this is how you evaluate this bike. So you can take your bone stock Street Triple. All I've done to this machine today, pick it up here. All I've done is, oh, I'm low on gas. All I've done is set the tire PSI, get the preload set up. Ooh, mix that a little bit. Get the preload set up. And then, what else did I do? I set the suspension. Woo-hoo-hoo! Missed it a little bit. I tried it for that downshift. They didn't want to give it to me. Am I in second? Yes, I am. Yeah, you really got to step on it. You got to be a little deliberate with the quick shifter down. It's still not that great, but it has improved over the 2020. Yeah. Grab that gear down there. Prepare yourself for this one up here. Whoa, hook it all the way around. Caught that a little late. Yeah, the 3 to 2 gear change is a teensy bit rough on the auto blip, but it works pretty damn well otherwise. Wide open. Looks like we're about to catch some sort of bike. You can tell on the rear tire it's a slightly bigger machine. The end of the day, everybody's a little tired. So as you folks can tell, the Triumph Street Triple has plenty of twisty road acumen, and what a treat for you that on this first ride you actually get proper neck wringing of this beast, huh? Let's get you guys back on street, and we're back on road. And why don't we test the highway prowess of the Street Triple I know that's important to a lot of highway commuters out there, and what better way to do it than to do it on perhaps one of the nation's finest freeways, the Dallas Autobahn, the LBJ Expressway here in DFW. Alright, so I believe this highway has a posted speed limit of like 80, but everyone does like 100 down here. So I'm cruising at about 84 right now at the street triple, and this is a very comfortable spot for this bike. You would be amazed at how easy and comfortable it is to ride this bike. 85 miles an hour, 6 gear. You don't need to drop any sort of gears. I am seeing some vibration from the mirrors, which does make my rear visibility a little bit difficult. We will try to get around some of this traffic by not downshifting. Unfortunately, we got to pass here on the right. Don't like to do that, but we'll go ahead and just do it. Easily gets up to about 100 miles an hour right there. Passes nice and easy. But you see, I'm doing indicated 100. I'm not really getting by people that fast here. That's just how it is in a lot of major metro areas in the United States. Cruising along here with the bike. Ergonomically, the street triple is a little more lean forward than a lot of bikes in the category. So that actually does put you in a little bit more of an aero position. I find that I don't feel too much chest buffeting or uncomfortableness on this motorcycle doing longer stints on the highway. But it wouldn't be my first choice to go and do like an hour-long trip slapping it up. You will feel a little bit of fatigue. I don't feel like my arms are getting ripped off necessarily. I think above 100 miles per hour you might feel that way a little bit. Why don't we go ahead and check a little bit. Indicated 110, 113. You do have to crouch down a little bit, you know. You want to get in the pocket, you want to kind of get a little bit down underneath there. A little flat windshield might actually help quite a bit when it comes to this motorcycle's highway abilities, but I'm honestly not that disappointed in it. It actually works pretty well. Compared to the MT-09 SP, which is, I believe, this motorcycle's direct competitor in terms of price and capability and performance, you're a little more leaned over. I know the new 24 MT-09 is a little more leaned over as well, but this bike, I'm actually very pleased with the highway performance. I think it actually works pretty darn well. See here, we can pass these cars. We're cruising at about 84 miles an hour. No troubles. You can just have a lot of fun with this bike on the highway. Now, are you going to keep up with your buddies on super sport machines? Well, it depends on how crazy they ride, but I think the Street Triple strikes a very nice balance for kind of fast, straight line highway performance and everyday livability. I'm super comfortable in this machine, even with a slight bend in my back. It's a very, very nice place to sit, and it's a thoroughly enjoyable bike to wring out a little bit. We'll see here, we'll drop it down a couple gears. Stock exhaust is a little quiet, but still fun to ring out. And now everybody please drop a like and comment that my editor is the best for having to keyframe out all of those frames for the speed. Thank you, Josh. We appreciate you. Thank you, editor Josh. Alright, let's check out more with the Street Triple. Woo! Alright, boys. That was a lot of fun on this bike today. Street Triple 765 RS in cosmic yellow, scorched yellow. What do I think? Man, it's a good bike. It's a really good bike. Ton of fun to ride. Great on track, great on road. Flexible enough to where you could totally commute with this thing. You could put on, a tank bag, maybe you could fit some sort of, tail bag back there. You could totally make this a commuter machine. It still retains that original quality that the Street Triple had of being a fun, flexible street bike, but still now has tons of punch, tons of performance. It's really cool that they managed to meet both in the middle so nicely, and again with a proper super sport DNA inspired frame and just the stiffer suspension and everything. This really still to me is a category leader. It's the benchmark for perfect street and track blend. It does both 50-50. This is the true 50-50 bike. If you're looking for something that you want to go on track with, on road with, commute with, do everything with, street-wise, this might be the Goldilocks zone right here. Other bikes in the category do things a little better. We're going to make a whole detailed like comparison video between everything in the category. But for me, the Street Triple is a solid 9.1 out of 10. A few things that kind of detract from me. Auto blipper's a little clunky on the downshifts, especially on track. This TFT is just so bad. So preposterously bad. But beyond that, that's pretty much my only two complaints of this machine. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's first ride and review. Remember, this is a giveaway bike over on yamanoob.co. Make sure you get your chances locked and loaded to win it. This is a sweet ride. I would love to win this thing. Look at the stitching here. You only get on the RS. Didn't point that out to you guys, but you get the nice little added Yami fact at the end of the video here. Thanks so much for checking out today's video. I appreciate it. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later, folks. All right, everybody, time is up. This video is unfortunately over, but head over to yamanoob.co while you're waiting for the next amazing Yamanoob video to queue up. Become a member, and you'll get access to win this Triumph Street Triple 765 RS. You're not going to want to miss it.